going to talk about the 4 parts of the human being, the inside and the outside of each of those parts, and all the different tools that you need to work on them. A holistic approach really is an approach where you address all of the human being. Some people think that it's all in your mind, or that if you change your diet, you'll change everything. Those approaches are not exactly right. You need to address physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. To truly evolve, you have to address all 4 parts of yourself. To truly heal, you have to address all 4 parts of yourself. If you have a health challenge, it's possible that the real cause is spiritual, which could be called energetic, mental, emotional, or physical. If you have a life challenge, such as abusive relationships, or being poor, or being broke and not being able to achieve your financial goals, the root cause could be mental. It could be emotional, it could be even physical, or it could be spiritual. And within mental, you've got the inside and the outside, just like you do with all 4 parts of you. You've got inner and outer for all of them. For example, with the mind, there's the conscious mind, or the conscious mind, and the unconscious mind. What you're consciously aware of, and what you're not consciously aware of, which is actually what's programmed into you. You actually have programs embedded into your unconscious mind. Why do people go to the gym for 2 weeks in January and then stop? Because they're not programmed to go, they're programmed to do something else. Why do people keep repeating the same life patterns? Because they're programmed to have those patterns. To change that, you got to change the unconscious mind. There is one tool that exists that does that. It's called the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself. It literally is 7 simple steps to go into the unconscious mind and remove the programming that you don't want there. Everything else that I've ever seen in existence is about putting in positive programs into the unconscious mind, but never taking out the negative ones. We're not talking about your conscious thoughts. I've seen lots of training videos by experts of the mind that tell you to listen to your thoughts and cancel the negative ones and put positive ones in. That's all conscious mind stuff. It's not the unconscious. When they say it's unconscious, they are mistaken, because the unconscious mind is protected by a filter, and if you can't get past the filter, you can't change it. So just dealing with your conscious mind throughout the day does not access the unconscious mind, except for in 1 out of 20 people. And those are usually the most successful people, because they don't have the old programming stopping them. They can change it just with their conscious thought. Now, in the conscious mind, you do have to do things that are good for you, like affirmations. But we have a process called completion. And completion gets rid of the stuff that keeps spinning through your head that you don't need to keep thinking about anymore. And almost always it's in relationship to previous relationships. Getting complete with them so that it's actually over. And you're not thinking about that person or what happened anymore consciously. That's what the completion process is for, the conscious mind. So the 7 steps goes into the hard drive of your biocomputer and removes the old programming. Completion goes through what's sitting on the screen, what's in the cache, you might say, that's being used up by your conscious mind right now. The same is true for the physical body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. Within the spiritual body, you have something called original creation, or a first experience that then repeats itself. A core experience, a picture we call it. The first time that a pattern starts and then it continues on forever after that. The very first time, that's what we have to deal with. The process for that is called the 5-step emotional eraser. It deals with ancestral trauma. If your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was murdered, that could create a pattern in your family that is then passed down from one generation to the next that you received. And it will continue on until you undo the pattern. I have witnessed many people come on stage in our workshops and say that they ended 15 or 18 years of generational sexual abuse in their family using the 5-step emotional eraser. It works on the original root cause of the pattern. That's the internal spiritual. The external spiritual is energy work. There's lots of technologies related to energy work. There's also lots of ancient forms of energy work. Shamanism would fall into this category. And I teach many different modalities for external spiritual in our courses, most of them in the mastery course. But within this external spiritual, you might find a lot of disbelief that it exists. So think of it as the energy part of you. We already know that energy exists. Both chemistry and physics agree on one of the laws of the universe, that everything is made of energy, including you. So that's over here. Energy work. External, spiritual. Now for emotional, the external stuff can be somewhat obvious. Physical affection, compliments, all the different ways that we love each other. But that would also include venting, letting go through an external action. Screaming, punching, kicking, throwing, letting it out, letting the emotion out, crying. That's part of the external healing of emotional. The internal healing of emotional, we have a process for that called ERT, Emotional Repolarization Technique. Emotional repolarization technique. And the way that I teach it is not taught by anyone else in the world. It releases the emotion from the cells of your body that's been stored up there from all the things you've been through since conception, including when you were in the womb. It's powerful. You have to get all that out for your body to be at its optimal. Speaking of the body, the inside of the body is nutrition. The outside of the body is exercise. But even within, inside and outside, there's a soft and a hard, a yin and a yang, another inside and outside. For example, with exercise, there is bodybuilding, weightlifting, which builds up your muscle and creates lactic acid, right? Bodybuilding. But then there's stretching or yoga, which releases lactic acid and softens your muscles. They are the yin and the yang of each other, the soft and the hard. If you lift weights and work out without stretching, it's only a matter of time, typically, for you to have some sort of problem. Your neck starts hurting, your back starts hurting, and you think, oh, I threw my back out. But actually, you built up lactic acid without releasing it until you reached the point that the muscle started cramping, started building knots, started pulling out of place. And then you start stretching and releasing the acid, and it goes back to the correct balance. You need to balance them. Nutrition is not the whole story on the internal body. Nutrition is putting in the good stuff. That's the yang of the internal. But you also got to get out the bad stuff. Please don't tell me that you think that you can eat non-organic food that's been sprayed with herbicides and pesticides and that it's all coming out. Don't tell me you think it's all come out of your body, because it has not. Don't tell me you think that all the meat you've eaten has all made it through your system. A lot of it is still in there. And you can see that really easily if you look it up online. You've got to also detox the heavy metals in your body. Dr. Rita Elthorpe says that 100% of Americans have heavy metals in their body. And that 59% have heavy metal poisoning. You've got to get that stuff out. When a mom has a baby, whatever level of mercury the mom has in her body, the baby will have the same level. So that's detoxing. It's the same with all the parts of you. Physical, emotional, inside and outside, and then even look at the emotional. There's building up, filling in with good, letting go of the negative on the external. ERT actually does both, building up and letting go on the emotional level. The 7 steps does both, letting go and building up on the unconscious mind. On the mental, the same thing. Affirmations is building up, completion is letting go. In energy work, you're bringing in good energy, letting out bad energy. The 5-step emotional eraser is uncreating old past creations. So obviously, the mirror to that is creating new creations. Those are the 4 parts of you, and those are the tools that you need to know to develop yourself fully and completely. You might be wondering, where can I learn all this stuff? If you go to my website, totalhealthmasteryusa.com, you can begin your training. The first course is the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself. I teach that one first because when you start removing the unconscious blockages in your mind, you can then become healthier. You will actually do those things that you learn about for your body. It's where you see the biggest change in your finances and your relationships right off the bat. So that's why we start there. There's actually over 20 courses you can take online. I hope that I'll see you in the very near future. Thank you.
The results and benefits of our training program are only available to members of our private association.